Hey, YouTube and Effin' True community. I am JC Styles of Effin' True Wrestling. The running gag.
Brian Crazy Effin' True Wrestling. Always walking over at the last minute.
Monday Night Raw. 11/22/2010. Review.
Beginning of a new era in the WWE.
Yes.
Not one that I'm particularly happy about.
Well, let's not talk about it right now.
Not particularly sad about either. So watch this video and you'll find out.
Alright. Nexus comes out. I believe. Yes, Nexus starts off the show. Barrett turns around, has the in-ring promo, how he thinks that he was indignified in an unjust action took place at Survivor Series. Basically using all these big words, which I can't even pronounce. I'm not going to even get into it. Because he's, I like Wade Barrett, but he's an idiot when he talks like that. He basically says he was screwed. Pretty much lame terms.
Well, I mean, it's not like his words were that large. I mean, injustice. I mean, it's. But moving on.
He basically turns around.
He comes out and he cries because he lost the match because he couldn't beat Randy Orton.
Yes.
And so, it comes around that the anonymous general manager is going to grant him another title shot, but the Nexus is banned from the ring later on tonight. Then we find out something very exciting, guys. The WWE is yet again holding the King of the Ring tournament.
Yes.
The last time it was held was 2008, which William Regal won. He was very deserving after all of his years of service with the WWE. So now we come around to 2010. Throughout this video, we'll tell you who has won the preliminary qualifying matches.
I can tell you right now. There was 4 from Raw. Bryan, Jackson, Morrison, and Sheamus.
And I think that's going to set up Sheamus Morrison, obviously. But to look past that, who do you think from Raw can win this tournament? I think Big Zeke Jackson.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Morrison as much as they've been pushing him.
And you know what would be interesting, though? Give Morrison the push in the King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah.
And it used to be the King of the Ring tournament took place in June.
Real quick.
Used to be the King of the Ring tournament took place in June. For any of you guys that don't know that, this tournament went on for many, many years. It was almost the 5th major pay-per-view of the year. And pretty much the winner of King of the Ring pretty much got a title shot at SummerSlam.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, they did in 2002. I think that was the last year they did it. But, I mean, even in, 2000, 2001, I think even Billy Gunn faced The Rock. But moving on, if Morrison wins this, will this give him a shot maybe against The Miz, and then we get to see the former tag team champions go against one another? That could be an interesting dynamic.
And you just gave away the fucking ending. It said save that part for last, and you fucked it up. Anyway, who spiked the Monday Night Raw Kool-Aid? What was with all the fucking divas? Melina slapping Johnny Nitro on the ass. The Bellas fighting over Daniel Bryan. CM Punk now an official Raw commentator?
Well, I think CM Punk is going to move into a Raw commentator role because I think Jerry the King Lawler might be starting to wind down. Which, to be honest, CM Punk wasn't that bad. I've always kind of been a fan of CM Punk. And his commentary wasn't too bad. I mean, he does have a degree in broadcast journalism, so that does give him the ability to bring something to the table.
And we skipped over a key moment. It was set up to be The Miz versus Ezekiel Jackson.
Sure
and
was.
At this point, when I saw Alex Riley come out, I knew something was up, because The Miz said the night before at the Survivor Series, he didn't care who was champion. It was a matter of when he cashed it in. And when the main event ended and Miz didn't come out, I was like, all right, something's gonna happen on Raw. And we'll talk about that later in the show. We had a pretty good Raw, though.
We did have a pretty good Raw. We had a couple qualifying matches that we spoke about. After that, we had John Cena come out and he said a very heartfelt goodbye to the WWE Universe. Well, you know what? He's put a lot of his life into He's put a lot of his life into the WWE.
This is what I think about the C Nation.
Yeah, but once we get later on in this video, I'd rather see the C Nation than the New Era.
No, I'd rather see the New Era over the C Nation. Fuck the C Nation.
Now,
I said it. JC Styles, 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it. Fuck the C Nation.
Well, you know what? Vince McMahon always wanted The Rock and wrestling, the MTV, to, the WWE to come together. WrestleMania, we had Cyndi Lauper and Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. So now finally MTV has come to the WWE, ladies and gentlemen.
Now we had the main event come up. It was looking like Barrett again was going to win the WWE Championship after they viciously jumped Randy Orton before the match. Randy Orton before the match.
Yes, all 5 members of the Nexus, minus Wade Barrett, jumped Randy Orton as he was coming down the ramp.
Which I knew was going to happen.
Yep, and so then he goes into the match with, Randy Orton versus Wade Barrett, which Randy Orton, even as hurt as he is,
he still does a good job.
I mean, guys, I'm going to be honest, I never was really that sold on Randy Orton up until a couple months ago. And when I saw Randy Orton, a decent fighting champion, you know what, guys? It kind of changed my opinions a little bit. And you know what? At the end of the day, he did beat Wade Barrett. Yes, John Cena came down, interfered, but you know what? John Cena was given that one last to Wade Barrett, because you know what? Wade Barrett deserved it.
Yeah, but he was no longer an active member of the WWE roster. So why was he allowed back into the building after he left?
Yeah.
Who did he pay to get back into the building?
And if you go onto the WWE.com webpage, John Cena's profile has been moved from the Superstar section to the Alumni section.
Now, which we get into, Orton wins. He's celebrating. He's in the corner.
This is after John Cena ran off and the whole Nexus chased him through the arena.
He was sitting there and he was looking at the floor, and then the Miz's music hits, and
the Miz
he just has that look in his face like, I fucking knew it. And the Miz comes in, and even
Randy Orton's not even standing. He's grabbing his knee. He's barely standing.
But then again, it's basically Money in the Bank gives you an opportunity at whatever and however you chose to do it.
Money in the Bank is basically...
You gotta put
Money in the Bank...
Let's put ourselves in their position.
But to be honest, Money in the Bank, yes, you won the ladder match, but it basically gives you a free ticket at any championship you desire.
Yes, but let's put it in perspective, though. Okay, let's put ourselves in the shoes of all the past Money in the Bank winners. Do you think we would stand a chance against someone like John Cena, fresh? Do you think we would stand a chance against someone like Randy Orton, fresh?
No, of course they've got to go in there.
Taker, fresh. Batista, fresh.
But I mean, guys, what does this mean for the WWE? We have now begun.
I think what happened, Orton got hurt. They're keeping it. I think what happened is Orton got hurt at the pay-per-view. They kept it hush. They attacked his leg. They further injured his leg, probably. Then that's when they was like, all right, we need to do something because we can't have no champion. So they probably last minute decision. They gave it to the Miz.
Well, and I also think of it this way too. I don't think Randy Orton would have been very happy about dropping the championship Sunday night at the pay-per-view. I just don't think it's something that he basically would have allowed to happen. I'm sure he put up a statement saying, I will drop it on Raw, but I'm not dropping it at the Survivor Series.
Let me check the timer. I want to make sure.
Let's see how much time we got left, guys, because we only have 15 minutes here.
8 minutes. I want to get something off my chest.
And I want to get something off my chest. Just don't interrupt me for 1 second, and then you can go on for as long as you please. What does this mean for the WWE? I mean, yeah, I learned a lot about Mike Mizanin and The Miz, and he's fought a long road to get where he's at. But since they threw him into the main event picture, his build-up has been less than adequate, and now I feel like we begin what I want to call the MTV era. 2010 was so promising in WWE, and now with losing like the fixtures like Randy Orton and losing John Cena, I mean, who is going to be the front runners for this company? The Miz and who else?
Yeah, but the thing is though, Brian, you have to think of it as far as the as Vince's mind. You got to put yourself in Vince and the creative team's mind. John Cena is not there anymore. Orton, yeah, he's there, but he might have risked an injury at some Survivor Series.
But do you think?
So they're going to give the title to the next person in line who can make the WWE money, and the Miz is over. He's got the crowd. He's got the followers.
He's not over. I don't know where you're getting that he's over, but if you watched, they taped the crowd right after he won the championship. And you know how many people were staring at the ground or had a look of disgust in their face? He's not.
I didn't see that when I watched Raw.
I got the tape in the house. A buddy taped it for me, and I'll show you the clip. I mean, the people. There was one person that looked like the Exorcist girl, and she was like, I mean, dude,
but if you look at all the people when the three count, when their hand came down for 3, if you look at everybody in the crowd, everyone was jumping.
Friend, so I'm gonna take a step back.
Everybody was cheering for the Miz and especially when the ref's hand came down for the 3, everyone was jumping up and down. So you know what? Were you watching the same show? Were you watching the same show I was? All the people that they probably filmed were the John Cena marks, the little kids who, my favorite wrestler's gone. Guys, shut the fuck up, because Shawn Michaels is the greatest wrestler of all time.
Guys, JC put up a video yesterday, and we saw, there was, like 7 or 8 comments on it. We saw, like, 5 or 6 of them were pro-Miz. There was a couple anti-Miz. One was pro-Orton. Below this video, when you guys leave your comments, please, I want to know who you would rather see as the champion currently. Would you like to see Randy Orton hold the belt for a little bit longer, or are you happy that the Miz era has begun? It's not that
somebody new. It's not somebody who hasn't had the title. It's not that I dislike
the Miz. I just feel like
he's over, dude.
I don't see him being that over, and I don't see his build-up being sufficient.
Edge wasn't over when he cashed in his first Money in the Bank.
But I mean, Edge was over from the past. I mean, the whole Edge and Christian. I mean,
okay,
dude, that was
since
classic.
you got to make your statement, now it's time for JC's statement, and I want to talk to a little kid who was on Xbox Live.
This is a statement from JC Styles.
I was on Xbox Live the other day. I think it was Friday or Saturday. I know it was one of my days off. This little kid, 14-year-old little prick, turned around and said, John Cena.
He was 14 years old, guys.
14-year-old. No, I hate fucking ignorant little kids. I fucking hate ignorant people. When you sit there and you say that guys like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Triple H, Stone Cold, The Rock are beneath John Cena, you are slapping in the face of the Attitude Era, the people who paved the way for The Rock, Austin, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart.
Not to interrupt you, but everybody is beneath Ric Flair.
Okay? Let's sit there, and I basically turned around. I was like, what was the first pay-per-view, what was the first John Cena match you ever saw? He turned around and said, I seen John Cena versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23. I said, you want to know what my first match was? I saw Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog, Wembley Stadium, 1991 SummerSlam. My next pay-per-view that I enjoyed watching, WrestleMania 12, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. They went out there for an hour and put on a wrestling clinic. You sit there and you say Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart are beneath John Cena. If there was no Bret Hart, no Shawn Michaels, or any of the past legends, there would not be a John Cena or a Triple H or a Sheamus or Morrison. So when the next time you sit there and you make a comment like that, I don't care how old you are, I will break my foot off in your ass.
Well, now that you've vented and threatened biters, I'm sure we're gonna have.
I don't care, because I ain't the only one out there that knows wrestling like I do, and for someone to sit there and say that those people that I named are beneath John Cena is a bullshit crop.
Well, that's the problem with what's going on in the wrestling world these days, and any of our younger viewers, guys. Me and JC have been watching.
The greatest wrestler retired after WrestleMania 26 this year, and that was Shawn Michaels.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the greatest wrestler retired after WrestleMania 25.
No, Shawn Michaels was the best wrestler.
We all know how much Joey likes JBL.
Who could still go.
What's that we got?
Shawn Michaels was probably the best wrestler in the Attitude Era, alongside Bret Hart. Bret Hart was a wrestling technician.
What time do we got, bro?
So, watch your mouth, because John Cena ain't God. He might be God to you, but he ain't God to me. He ain't God to Brian.
Well, let me just break it down real quick. For a lot of the younger fans out there that do enjoy F and True Wrestling, because we did just get kind of on
17.
We got on a little bit of a rant, and we got to kind of shut this out, guys. The wrestling world has changed so much since we've been